Before the Titanium Ranger would join the Lightspeed Rescue team as the first American exclusive Power Ranger, apparently someone else was supposed to hold that title. Could the one they used to call Astronema actually turn out to be the first ever purple Power Ranger? Well, not really. Let's talk about it. Yo, what's up everybody, it's Este here and welcome back to another video, and today we'll be talking about the story of the Lost Galaxy Purple Power Ranger. Now, the term American exclusive Power Ranger, like I said in the introduction there, is based on the fact that Power Rangers is an adaptation of the Super Sentai Japanese series. And when they make a Power Rangers adaptation, it's really just a matter of them picking pieces from the Japanese show to adapt. But after many years of production, Power Rangers realized that they need to be different somewhat, as Japanese kids and American kids are two really different markets to sell to. And we see that all the time today with a lot of American exclusive features that the Japanese show doesn't get, like the cockpit modes and new bicycles. However, back when Power Rangers was starting, this really wasn't as common. Back in the 1990s, during the introduction of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Saban Entertainment was working on a strict budget with a simple idea: use Super Sentai series footage and replace Japanese actors with American ones. Down the line, especially during season 2, we see them combine elements of other Sentai to make their own, like having the White Ranger from Die Ranger interact with the team from Zoo Ranger, and later on, we'd see Ninjor from Kaku Ranger in the picture as well. But we can tell early on that Power Rangers was trying to be different from Super Sentai, as in season 2 we had our first American exclusive villain, Lord Zed, alongside our first ever exclusive American team of Power Rangers, that being the Dark Rangers, which look very horrible and bad, or really are a disgrace to society and humanity.
You need to leave!
These guys were very much a bad team, not because they were evil, just because they looked horrible. You know what, at least they tried though, but I guess at that moment we weren't really ready for an American exclusive creation like that. And for the next few years we didn't see really much come from Power Rangers in terms of originality, besides the Ninja Ranger suits that we saw in season 3, but those weren't Power Ranger suits, those were like cloth, like a robe. Ninja robe.
I want to be ninja.
However, fast forward to the times of Power Rangers in space, the franchise wasn't at the height it was during MMPR. But by In Space, they kind of perfected the formula in a way. Even though Power Rangers wasn't that popular like it was in Mighty Morphin, where it was a big boom, everyone wanted to be a Power Ranger, it was still somewhat popular. And they really found a way back then to put into harmony both the American footage and the Japanese footage, and really just know how to mesh them together really well, while also adding their new stuff along the way, like Battleizers, which were a power-up mode for the Red Ranger. So after making their own Battleizers, the power-up modes and whatnot, and bicycles that they would do, the ideal next step for an American exclusive creation was to have your own Power Ranger. In Space was a weird time for Power Rangers because that was the end of an era, and the last episode of In Space, Countdown to Destruction, really just gave us some hints on what the future could hold. Countdown to Destruction were the blueprints to the original Ranger formula, as in the finale of the show, we would see the season's villain, Astronema, turn back into her human self as Corone, and we would see her wear a purple jumpsuit similar to the rest of the In Space Rangers. Now, even if she wasn't going to be the purple In Space Ranger or whatnot, Corone does have a future in another Power Ranger series, that being Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Now, all this is really important because Astronema as a character really grew a lot in Power Rangers in Space, especially with the storyline on how she, the main villain, was connected to the Red Ranger, Andros. So if you think about it, having a full season villain turn good and become a Power Ranger herself, that would be a really good arc to see. And even though we did see that in Lost Galaxy, obviously, as Astronema became the pink Lost Galaxy Ranger, things were supposed to be just a little different. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far and this is your first time watching, nice to meet you, I'm Este. Be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell to join the E-Squad today. We're over 70,000 strong, best community on YouTube. I would love to have you.
I love you.
Coming up next, it's the fastest hedgehog on TV. Yep, that would be Sonic. And right after, it's Go-Go Power Rangers. We like our superheroes here at Vortex.
1999's Power Rangers Lost Galaxy was the first season to introduce and have a new story and cast of Rangers for each year, with Lost Galaxy having connections to his prior seasons, being a spiritual successor in a way to Power Rangers in Space, as the season kind of took place, you know, in space. On an interview with Christopher Kamen Lee on that hashtag show, Christopher revealed plans to turn Corone, Andros' sister, into the first ever Purple Ranger, becoming Lost Galaxy Purple. Now, how he got this information is kind of unknown, considering, Lost Galaxy wasn't his season, but considering Andros and the rest of the In-Space Rangers showed up, maybe he got a few, word off the streets during production. Now, for those die-hard Power Ranger fans, you know that Astronema, or Corone, was reintroduced back in the show in episode 32 of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. And may I say, this was right after the team-up episode with the In-Space Rangers, as well as the loss of Kendrix as a character, the Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger, the original one at that. For those who didn't know, Valerie Vernon, who was Kendrix in the show, was diagnosed with leukemia and had to leave the show to undergo treatment. The treatments were successful though, and Valerie's character Kendrix was resurrected at the end of the season, and even came back during the Lightspeed Rescue team-up. However, there were still a few episodes along the way. They were like 3/4 of the way into the show almost, and they really needed someone for the final leg as the Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger. And who better than Astronema? But why Astronema? Why Corone? Because even though Corone was teased to become purple at the end of In Space, when she returned in Lost Galaxy, her arc had her find the pink Quasar Saber from an auction and eventually become the second pink Lost Galaxy Ranger, and was so for the rest of the season. So why did they make her become the Pink Ranger instead of making her a Purple Ranger? And if so, what would the Purple Ranger be like? What would her story be like? As there of course were 5 Quasar Sabers. As for the main Lost Galaxy team, Magna Defender was kind of his own thing, of course, so how would a 6th quote-unquote Lost Galaxy Ranger come into play? Also, quick question, if you're a Power Ranger, what color would you be? Let me know in the comments down below, and hit the like button to lock in your answer. 1,500 likes, and I'll do more videos just like this one. Keep it in. Well, I think the main reason why this was scrapped was mostly due to the situation with Valerie. Since she was forced to leave the show, they had to change the story to allow Kendrix to exit the show. But for those who didn't know, I made a video about the unaired Power Ranger episodes, with one of those featuring Cassie from Power Rangers in Space, who, original plan, was supposed to take the helm of Lost Galaxy Pink. However, the actress Patricia J. Lee decided not to further go down this road and didn't take the helm in the end, as she wasn't satisfied with the pay that they were giving her, so she basically refused to do it. And if you think about it, this original plan was kind of gonna work in a way. They had one last team-up episode after the In-Space team with both Pink Rangers, Cassie and Kendrix. And Kendrix's death in the show, quote-unquote, was supposed to lead on to the next episode where Cassie would become the Pink Ranger herself. But now with Patricia out the picture, all they have is the character of Corone and the actress Melody Perkins, who I guess was kind of already on board in a way to become a Purple Ranger in a sense, but now with this change of plans, she had to come in as Pink. So now with all these changes in mind, when are we going to introduce the Purple Ranger? Ideally, you would just have Melody Perkins come in and do the Pink Ranger. As you know, having a American exclusive Ranger is hard. You gotta design the whole suit, the whole weapons, you gotta shoot American footage. That takes a lot of money, and especially when you have an actress leave the show, you gotta cut some corners somewhere and cut some story plots out. Now, it would have been really cool seeing Astronema come back as the Purple Ranger. It would have been the first Purple Ranger, the first 6th Ranger in Power Rangers history, and it would have been leaps ahead from Titanium Ranger, And having the first 6th Ranger be a girl, that would have been cool too. If it were to happen though, the writers would have had to explain what happened to the purple Quasar Saber, if there was one, and how Corone found it. As well to have a character who would appear in 12 episodes. So for it being so late in the show, it probably wasn't so worth it. For perspective, the Titanium Ranger was introduced very early on during Lightspeed Rescue. I think it was like episode 10 or after that. It was very early on into the show, right after the Rangers got their powers, the Zords and all that. Boom, Titanium Ranger. And to be honest, that is probably the best way to introduce a new exclusive Ranger. Introduce them early on so you can use them the most you can throughout the show. Having a Purple Ranger appear so late, that just, wouldn't work out. Maybe they were planning to have the Purple Ranger introduced earlier on in the show, but considering everything that happened, especially with the Pink Ranger, they decided to move the plan of an American exclusive Ranger to the next season with Titanium. But Purple Rangers are cool. I love the idea of a Purple Ranger. I'm wearing purple right now. I gotta support Astronema. She had so many different hair colors. Imagine her with the Purple Ranger, It makes sense, right? We first saw her with purple. She should end up being purple. I did find some fan art over on DeviantArt by Green Cosmos 80, which actually did some pretty good fan art on how the Purple Ranger could have looked like. It also gave Astronema a bat Zord, which would have been really cool because bats are usually associated with evil and mean-spirited, and bats are like pretty cute and cool. We're my bat lovers. Let me know in the comments down below if you love bats.
It's freaking bats. I love Halloween.
But considering everything that went on during production of Lost Galaxy, this Purple Ranger never saw the light of day. You know what they say, guys, some things really do get lost in the pipeline, especially this one. Let me know what you think about the Lost Galaxy Purple Ranger. Is there still room for Corone to be a Power Ranger? They've introduced her in the Power Ranger comics books, especially in the Psychopath storyline. It would really be cool for her to become the Lost Galaxy Purple Ranger still in a way. I love saying the comics because the comics you can really just do anything with it in a way. So I really hope that we see a Purple Ranger one day, especially with it being Corone. Thank you so much, E-Squad, for the love and support. I love you to death. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, DonFuego. I'm also on Instagram, Not Don Fuego. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at. And of course, and as always, stay awesome, everybody.